Welcome to this online presentation on the Accreditation for Chartered Status, otherwise known as the ACS. This is the final component of becoming a fully qualified Chartered or Certified Loss Adjuster. Having reached this stage, you have already completed all the requirements to sit our written examinations and have successfully completed all those written papers. In this presentation, we will look at the requirements for the completion of the ACS, how to set about the process, and finally, how you can become more assured of reaching the necessary standard. In this first session, I will talk about the overall requirements and concentrate on the critical analysis. Firstly, it is important to understand that the ACS is a Level 7 or Master's Degree level qualification, so the requirements are in keeping with this. A Master's qualification requires your own personal research and a critical analysis of the subject. These are two very important aspects to keep in mind whilst you prepare for your ACS. So let's look at the requirements of the ACS. These can be broken down into components as follows: the critical analysis itself, the summary of experience, the oral presentation, and the interview. It is much more reassuring to break down the requirements of the ACS to their individual components. For the sake of clarity, it is necessary to complete the written parts, the critical analysis and summary of experience before the oral presentation and the interview. I'm therefore going to start by giving an overview of the critical analysis and summary of experience. The critical analysis is a 3,000 word dissertation on one particular loss that you have handled. This is around 8 pages of A4, just to put that into context. The summary of experience is 750 words written about 6 individual cases. In other words, it's 750 times 6 rather than 750 words in total. The critical analysis and the summary of experience have two different purposes. The critical analysis is there so that you are able to demonstrate your ability to manage a loss, to assess key issues, demonstrate your decision-making process, your technical ability, and your ability to critically assess your decisions and consider what you have learned and perhaps what you may do differently if faced with the same issues again. By contrast, the summary of experience is there to enable you to show that you have a varied experience. In this section, the examiners will want to be satisfied that you have a sufficiently wide experience. The variety could be demonstrated by differing perils, different coverages, different policy considerations, and the like. Once completed, the critical analysis and summary of experience that you send in will be sent at the same time, so the order in which you complete them is your choice. Writing a 3,000 word dissertation may seem a big task, so you may find that starting with the summary of experience more appealing. The most important aspect of your planning is to consider the purpose and desired end result. Of course, the desired end result for you, and indeed the institute, is your successful completion. So let's start by looking at the critical analysis in more detail. The most frequent questions that arise are: what format should I use for the critical analysis? What do I need to cover? How do I choose a case? And what does good look like? So let's take each of these individually. The format of the critical analysis is entirely up to the individual. One clear statement is that it is not a report to insurers or other clients. So I have told you what it is not, but I hear you say, what is it then? The best examples of critical analysis are those from candidates who have used the handbook to understand what is required, so let's just do that now. The handbook is on the Institute website and can be downloaded or looked at online. It states very clearly the criteria by which you will be measured. This is in 4 components as follows: technical correctness, informed decision making, effective claim management, and effective communication. I'd particularly ask you to refer to page 26 of the examination handbook, where it makes it very clear that the following headings should be included in your critical analysis, and they are as follows: key issues, nature and extent of cover, the magnitude of the loss and the eventual settlement cost, the options that were available, reasons for rejection of certain options, and the candidate, or in this case your proposed solution to the problems, and the reasons supporting your choice. The handbook goes on to provide greater details in this regard. The first, and arguably the most crucial aspects, are the key issues selected by the candidate. The issues should be those that will provide the candidate with the opportunity to demonstrate their practical application of skills and the use of judgment. Decisions that are made as a matter of routine or by prescription should be avoided. For instance, there may be a standing instruction that in the event of a reserve or a loss being in excess of a given amount, a lawyer should be instructed to consider the prospect of a recovery. This would not be a good key issue to discuss, as it does not provide the opportunity for you to demonstrate your judgment or practical application. However, by contrast, an issue concerning a recovery, where you, the candidate, has highlighted your judgment in the manner in which the recovery was approached, could well be a much better choice. I do not intend to go over each of the headings as the explanation is in the handbook. However, I should stress that careful thought should be applied so as to highlight that you have met and evidenced the competencies that are specified, i.e., technically correct, informed decision making, effective claim management, and effective communication. The presentation of the critical analysis should be of the highest possible order. There is no time limit, so the panel members assessing you will expect a high quality submission. There is little excuse for spelling and grammatical errors when the use of spell and grammar checking software is permitted. Think too about the overall look of the document. A paper that is well spaced, has a table of contents, and a front cover sheet often creates a good impression. However, there is no set format, so you can decide what makes your presentation stand out. So far, we have looked at the overall requirements of the ACS process, and I have highlighted some of the important features of the critical analysis. Please do look out for further presentations on the summary of experience, the oral presentation, and the interview itself. Thank you.